Hi, it's Mrs. Scarple, and we are going to be graphing lines again today. We're still going to be graphing using, well, I shouldn't say still using, we're still going to be graphing in slope-intercept form. We're just going to have to rewrite some equations. So just a reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is our slope, or rise over run. And b is our y-intercept, where we cross the y-axis. So when we are asked to graph y equals 4x minus 4, we have a slope of 4, and we have a y-intercept of negative 4, and its point is located at 0, negative 4. Now you might be thinking, but my slope isn't written as rise over run. We can remedy that or take care of that by writing it over 1, because 4 divided by 1 is still equal to 1. So remember, when you graph a line, you start by plotting the y-intercept. So I'm starting my line at 0, negative 4. And then from there, my rise of 4, my run of 1. Rise of 4, run of 1. Or you could go backwards. If you go down 4, you're going to need to go another negative direction to make it a positive slope. And then we can graph a line through our points. And let me get my line through the points just a little bit better. There we go. We're also being asked to identify the x-intercept. So the x-intercept, if you remember from our previous lesson, the x-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis. So the x-intercept is crossing at the point 1, 0. Now let's take a look at our next problem. Graph the equation and identify the x-intercept. This equation, x plus 2y equals 6, is not written in slope-intercept form. It is not written in y equals mx plus b form. So we need to rewrite it. So I have x plus 2y equals 6. Well, I want my x to be on the same side as my constant. So I'm going to subtract x from each side. That zeroes it out on the left side. And I'm left with 2y equals negative x plus 6. And I write plus 6 because my 6 is positive. I also need y to be completely by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, and I will have y equals, now keep in mind when you don't have a number in front of your variable, it's a 1, so we have negative 1/2 x plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now we have our equation in slope-intercept form. I'm now going to find the slope in my y-intercept so that I can graph it. So my slope, that's the value in front of x. We do not include x when we identify slope. My y-intercept is 3, which is at the point 0, 3. I plot my y-intercept. So at 0, 3 is my y-intercept. My slope is negative, so I need to make sure my line is going to move in a negative direction. So I move in one negative direction going down, and I'm going to go to the right 2. I could go up 1, but then I have to make sure I go left 2. And then I can graph my line. And then I need to identify my x-intercept. So if I double check, if I went down 1 and right 2 again, it appears my x-intercept is at the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. So your y-intercept has an x value of 0. Your x-intercept has a y value of 0. And I believe I skipped a problem in your notes, so let's go back to that one prior to it. I have y plus x equals 2, and we're going to identify the x-intercept. So I'm going to rewrite this in slope-intercept form. So I need to get the y by itself, so I undo x by subtracting x. So we have the x zeroes out, so we have y equals negative x plus 2. I now have it in y equals mx plus b form. My slope, remember if you don't see a value in front of x, it's a 1, so my slope is negative 1. If you want to write it as rise over run, it's negative 1 over 1. The y-intercept is 2, which is the point 0, 2. And we can then graph it. So at 0, 2, we have our y-intercept, and we have a negative slope again, down 1, right 1. Or if you did go up 1, you need to make sure you go left 1 so that you're moving in one negative direction as you plot your points. And then we can identify our x-intercept like the directions ask. And our x-intercept is at the point 2, 0. And that is taking slope-intercept form, or standard form, excuse me, and converting it to slope-intercept form to graph. Because it isn't always easy to find the x and y intercepts or to plot them easily on a graph. So sometimes it's easiest to use the slope-intercept form to graph a line.